Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast we've got a special episode for you. It's a special getting over episode. We're still living in lockdown, but that doesn't stop the podcast from rolling on. And Stu felt that there was plenty of content for a special little episode, so we all jumped on to the magic of video conferencing, and we knocked out a special podcast just for you guys. So here we go. Anybody that's not watching on YouTube, jump over. Like I say, this one is a video one, so certainly something to check out. And while you're there, give us a cheeky subscribe, like, share, comment, all of that. Then get every single person you've ever met or ever known to do the same. Cheers. Anyway, here we go. This is CookieCast Getting Over Special. One and two. Go, Stu.
Hello, welcome along everyone. We thought we'd just jump on here and put out a little cheeky special edition Getting Over on CookieCast. I guess weirdly, appropriate, well not weirdly, kind of planned with the t-shirt in terms of it has been a bit of a shock to the system. It's been a bit of a busy news week or two since WrestleMania's in the books. We're not going to actually talk too much about WrestleMania this time because we'll leave that for the predictions on the full fat version of Getting Over, if you like. But yeah, a lot has happened, so we thought we'd jump on and have a little chat. First things before we get kicked off, the first place I'd like to start, I wouldn't really like to start, but I can't really let this go without mentioning Howard Finkel. Bless him, unfortunately passed away on the 16th, age 69. Had a very, very long history with WWE. Debuted at Madison Square Gardens in 1977. So just to put that into perspective, Howard Finkel was a ring announcer the same year that Star Wars came out, the original Star Wars. So that's it's a very, very long career. He was the first official WWE employee when WWE came into existence, as it's kind of known today. So he's their longest serving worker as well. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame class in 2009, and I've probably dropped this on you guys. But if anyone's got any memories of Howard Finkel, anything they want to bring up, obviously now would probably be a good time.
I remember us meeting him at a convention at some point. He seemed a perfectly charming gentleman.
Yeah, that was down in London back in 2015 at London WrestleCon, and when he was announced, announced as a guest, he was one of the ones on the list straight away that I had to go and meet. He's a really nice guy, seemed to have time for people on the day despite it being ridiculously busy. But yeah, it's one of them. I think when we sort of had it on the text, I think it was you, Paul, that put it most aptly, in the sense that it's a kick right in the childhood, because that is the voice of ring announcing for as long as I can remember, and still announcing the Hall of Fame classes as well at every WrestleMania, right up until recently. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of a sad note to start, but I could not mention it.
I always thought it was quite well summed up, but I think it was, I can't remember if it was Edge or Christian, but one of them said that when they won the titles for the first time, or it might not have been the first time, when they won them at WrestleMania at 60, the thing that they enjoyed the most wasn't the fact that they won the titles, the fact that he was given and new World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion. And they were just like, oh yeah, we wanted to wear that ever since we were kids and stuff like that.
And if you're looking for something to watch during lockdown as well, I know Hall of Fame speeches don't really go, but maybe go back and watch his, because it's worth it just for like the last sort of 2 or 3 minutes of it. In announcing himself into the Hall of Fame in the true sort of Howard Finkel ring announcer style, pretty cool. So moving on, and just as well, going to drop in another little shout out for WrestleCares. We mentioned them on the last pod. They're a local charity group, all local to me anyway, over in Hull. doing stuff for underprivileged kids and helping them out, piquing their interest in wrestling, providing merch where they can, where it might be that they can't afford it, might be that they don't have a chance to go to shows. Throughout the course of the year as well, when things get slightly back to normal, they're going to start, I believe, looking into getting tickets for families to go and stuff like that as well. So they've had some pretty big followers of late as well. A special video that was put out by Alexander Wolf of Imperium fame has given them a little video message as well. So check them out on Facebook, WrestleCares, or you can check them out on Twitter @CaresWrestle. So yeah, down into the sort of the business that's happened since. And speaking of business, is WWE an essential business?
No.
Some would say it is.
Well,
It's just, I understand like it's how they employ a lot of people and it feeds into other things, but and obviously it kind of runs into that kind of sport and sport entertainment, but if there's no basketball, there's no baseball, there's none of the major sports leagues in America aren't going, how is wrestling any different? Because I would suggest that they need more medics. They need more, there's more kind of people there to interact with each other. It stinks. Does it? Kind of when you start to read around it, you're like, oh right, yeah, the McMahon's made a sizable donation to a governor, some kind of politician in Florida.
We should probably fill in a little bit of the backstory here. So, to begin with, WWE wasn't deemed an essential business, and the police department around the area where the performance centre is based in Orlando had actually visited, apparently, on numerous occasions, saying, "Look, you're breaking," because it's not lockdown in America; it's a stay-at-home order. Stay at home. Weird one as well.
Is it stay where you are?
What, like musical statues?
I was watching a video on YouTube the other day where they were talking about somebody's taken this opportunity to break the Cannonball Run record, and the guy who was doing the video was saying it's a stay where you are order. I don't know if there's a difference, or
I presume they're not wanting people to, like if they're from Texas and they've moved to Florida, for example, go back to Texas maybe. So, but apparently they were approached on numerous occasions that you're going to get shut down, and then miraculously on the 9th of April, Orange County Mayor Jerry Deeming had consulted with the governor, and WWE was labelled to be an essential business. Funnily enough, as Matt mentioned, on the exact same day, Linda McMahon had pledged to spend $18.5 million on the state of Florida as part of Trump's re-election campaign. So yeah, Linda McMahon obviously
what an amazing coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, who'd have thought it?
The shiftier thing is the fact that obviously AEW have been taping, and they reckon they're taped up till the end of May. But the police arrived at some of their tapings the other week. Mysteriously tipped off by people, and you're kind of like, right then, so what's got I know it's competition and all that kind of thing, but you can't be like, oh, they're filming over there, but we're an essential business over here, and you're like, you're the same business.
If it comes to it and it gets to the end of AEW's sort of ones that they've got already in the cap, I can't. Like, if they decide to run a show in Florida, how can they say no to it? Because you can't, it's not, it shouldn't be one rule for
one rule for one rule for another.
But they've got 18.5 million reasons to prove it otherwise.
Such a cynic, Stu. Come on.
Shows are being filmed in Florida anyway, aren't they?
Not all of them, are they? They're still touring.
I just assumed they were doing them all from the
Jacksonville, aren't they? Yeah. So the Carnes have got a big contribution to Florida as well.
Yeah.
You know, and do they want, you know, would they care if the Jags leave Florida? Possibly not, but there's plenty of places which are willing to take them. You know, London's an ongoing mover, and that's a kind of link into the NFL. So, you know, they've got to keep everybody sweet, and I think, you know, if you come out you're looking like, all right, yeah, we're going to favour WWE. You know, fair enough, maybe it's a wagon that you hitch, a horse that you hitch your wagon to, but it doesn't look good.
In a kind of weird way, though, fair enough, Vince McMahon's got a lot of money, but if he gets into a pissing contest with Shad Khan, there's only going to be one winner. So,
and he isn't getting his head shaved at WrestleMania, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he's not trying to run. He's not running people like Paul Heyman out of business in that situation, you know. And even Ted Turner, to some extent, he kind of started to lose control of stuff.
Yeah.
It went, you know, towards the end of WCW. You know, the Khans have got a lot of money, and they're willing to take, you know, and I think they're willing to take him on this time.
Yeah. Well, they've got nothing to fear, have they, really?
That would be a hell of a fight.
They've got loads of other stuff to fall back on, haven't they? So, you know, they've got full hair.
Speaking of the football, but we'll stick to the American variety as well. All this also came up around the time that, despite McMahon's millions, and was it 300 million or something he pledged to the XFL over 3 years? No, that ultimately he filed bankruptcy for the XFL. Not even a full season in. Now, I probably have to say at this point, if it wasn't for what's going on, the XFL would still be going on. So, in the interest of fairness, it is kind of unfortunate for him, I guess. But is it not just a case of him cutting his losses before it gets too bad, rather than actually sticking it out as he intended? Because as far as I know, I think I wouldn't have thought anybody with any kind of football and business logic would have expected the XFL to turn a profit any time certainly within the first 12 months of operation, because you're establishing brand new leagues and team, aren't you?
I'd heard on a podcast and read some stuff that this was a bit of a blessing in disguise for the XFL, because it was just, you know, burning money. It wasn't, you know, they were really struggling with the rights and stuff like that. It was just not, people weren't interested. So I think it's kind of come as a bit of a blessing in disguise for them to kind of get out of it. But yeah, you know, it's a shame. It's a shame, you know, kind of on that kind of thing. It's a shame because, you know, as I said to you guys, I quite enjoyed it. You know, it's not the NFL, but it's pretty damn close. These guys aren't garbage, you know, and quite a lot of them are getting picked up by NFL teams like as we speak, because they've seen them and they can see that they can play a bit. That
was one of the first things that came out of it, wasn't it? So obviously when everything stopped operating and stuff like that, they immediately said that all the players were released from their contracts and eligible to sign with any NFL team. And like you said, it was quite a news that got immediately started taking up.
Otherwise known as the McMahon. You're released from your contract, off you pop.
So, again, around the same time that the NFL filed for bankruptcy, and the next piece of business I've got on here as well, just linking that nicely back to the Trump thing to tie all this up. Donald Trump has also included Vince McMahon as a member of a committee that he's formed, charged with getting the US economy back on track after the COVID-19 pandemic. So the guy who...
Didn't all this happen on the same day?
Pretty much, yeah. It was within a 48-hour period, as far as I remember from last week. But it all happened very, very quickly. Because the first thing was this kind of like flip-flopping of they have to do live shows. Now they're doing pre-tape. No, we're definitely doing live again. Now we're doing pre-tapes. And that was all sort of hinged on the back of that essential business sort of thing. But also as well, I don't know how much there would be in the terms of the TV networks had put any kind of pressure on them to, I think we might have mentioned this briefly last time about that if the TV networks will put pressure on to kind of fulfil their contract on the basis that if they couldn't, the TV company might get a bit of a discount or save a bit of money for themselves as well. But it seems the last I'd seen that the airing on the side of pre-taped again, with the inclusion of Money in the Bank being sort of pre-taped as well, which we'll get to on the next episode of Getting Over. But there'll be some good stuff to come from that one.
It just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I mean, if they're pushing for content, so if USA and Fox are literally saying to him, right, you need to provide us with 8 hours, 7 hours, because you've got two NXT, 2 SmackDown, 3 Raw.
Yeah.
You've got 7 hours, so you need to give us 7 hours of content each week. Unless in the contract, if it actually specifies it has to be new content, there's absolutely no way they couldn't cobble together 7 hours of material each week from the 50, 60 years of stuff they've got.
Anybody seen NXT UK recently? Because they're like, as you put it, cobbling together. Like this week's was the Tyler Bate Walter rivalry in full, pretty much just as one show. So. Yeah, so
where did they get?
Some of the NXT shows have been that. They did the Gargano, Ciampa kind of build-up show kind of things, and they kind of built through a few rivalries and stuff like that. I just think, I think the networks kind of went a little bit, people don't think that it's right that we're making people go to work. It's not a good look for Fox and USA. So I think they kind of stepped back a little bit. But you just think, I know the Raw being the longest running continuous show on a Monday is this big kind of thing that they're proud of. But also, you look like a heartless bastard. You're making people go to work when they don't need to. Do some reruns. Show WrestleManias, show things that people haven't seen before. You've got the archives of the WWE, you've got the archives of TNA, you've got the archives of WCW, you've got all your documentaries, you've got so much stuff that's on the network, and I know they've got people paying for the network, but put that on the tally.
There's even an argument for like the stuff that's been unreleased, because I've listened on or I've heard on multiple podcasts, they record all the house shows. Mm-hmm. So they could put some of that together and send that out. There's absolutely no way they must have hundreds if not thousands of hours of unused footage that no one's ever seen, that they could definitely push together and make a show out of.
They've got like a perfect opportunity as well, in the fact that if you think about maybe somebody like McIntyre, who they've spent the best part of this year building up, and spoiler alert, watch WrestleMania. We'll talk about this in a bit more detail next time. But like they've just given him the main title in that company. Regardless of what people feel about the Universal, everybody will still consider to me the WWE title being the main title in the company. They've also got links with ICW, with all the indies in the UK. Why not smash 2 or 3 matches from them? Because they don't generally have short matches when they're on the indies either. Just smash 3 or 4 weeks they could even do together of, this is where he went when he left the first time, this is how he developed, this is what, to get to this point where he is now. It's stuff like that should be like shooting fish in a barrel for them lot. We've come up with this after talking about it for 10 minutes, so that's their job. Surely they can.
And it's, as well, if you did need to put some new stuff in there, literally just get them in the studio, get them to do a talking head segment, 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, just do this.
Oh, this? I mean, it's not difficult, is it? I mean, you're not.
God, it's everywhere,
danger.
So, just looping that slightly back to, I think it was Paul that said, but they look like heartless bastards making people go to work. Well, some of those people no longer need to go to work. after the 16th of April. Very, 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 very long day, I imagine, for the people in the contracts team there at WWE.
Did you see the thing about one of the people that was released was obviously Rotunda, who in the previous guise was IRS.
Yes.
And in the States, that's tax day.
Yeah. Yeah, so they fired the tax man, essentially.
On tax day.
Well, I have got a list. I'm not sure how extensive the list is, but some were probably more shocking than others, but regardless of where they sit on the card, like, these are still real people at the end of the day, with jobs and families and all the rest of it. Yeah, so I mean, most people live to their means. If these people's means are slightly more because they've had a better pay, then they might be in an even worse state than maybe somebody who wasn't would be. But I'm not sure. But I think probably going straight to the head of that list, maybe a surprising one to pick out. But I think the biggest shock was MacLeod, referee. Again, at the time before he was fired, they're easily their longest serving employee. Been there, I think, about 30 years. Was it
30 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 89 that I'd seen on the thing that I was looking at about when he started. So, like, for him to 30 years to be with that company, to then on your way, sunshine. Like, I'm not going to pretend to know what the terms were, if they got paid off or anything like that. At the end of the day, these people have lost their job. People can talk about like your EC3s maybe, or your Leo Rush maybe has been like wasted opportunities. Those guys both stood out to me as two guys who got second chances with WWE. First EC3 in his second run after the original NXT. He was one of the original NXT line appointees, Eric Bateman, if I remember rightly. Went off, proved himself with TNA, came back, looked like it was, all systems go, ready to push him up to the main roster. Got there and hasn't really done too much, but again, he worked to get himself in that position. So to me, who's to say that he maybe won't come back to WWE now for what would be a third time? But he's shown to me that he's got that sort of ethic about him. So I'm pretty sure he'll be all right.
I think he'll be picked up. He'll be picked up pretty quickly, even if he just goes back to TNA. They'll take him because he was like head of lead kind of thing of the company and stuff like that. I think he's the kind of guy that will go back to the company that he was with before. They could never find the right gimmick for him. And
he's a good talker though, and he'll always get a job based on Mike's stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's to me. He's never been given that chance at WWE. Like, you've not like the amount of promos he's cut especially since moving up to the main roster. You can probably count on one hand.
Well, yeah, he came out and they were doing that weird silent stuff at one stage, and the less than enthusiastic walkout, and I'm like, was that kayfabe? Was that kind of actually, I'm absolutely sick of being here kind of thing? And it was just, I wasn't a big fan of him in TNA, but when he came up, you're like, all right, they've picked him up, I'm sure they'll give him a good chance. But then it's the usual thing when we started in NXT, they rushed him through NXT, chucked him onto the main roster, and then he got buried. I won't even say he got buried in the mid card, got buried like under a table somewhere. It was just like, well, we haven't got anything for you, and it just seems like, I don't know, we've complained continually. We've complained on it, but we've observed continually on this is that some weeks you watch it Raw or you watch SmackDown and it's the same as the previous 3-4 weeks. Vary it up a little bit, chuck some things in, even if it's on a 2-week kind of rotation kind of thing, but it's no, you've got to have this, you've got to have that. We don't have to have the same mid-card wrestling every week. You don't have to have the same. I understand you've got to have your main guys up there, but let's get some other people in there as opposed to the same people every week. I'm like watching Raw this week. Cesaro's wrestling. They're like, have I not seen this? So I'm pretty sure I've seen this for the past 3-4 weeks. And he's another, he's another great wrestler who's getting buried with shite storylines. But, where's the variety? Because that's what the mid-card's there for. You're meant to be showing different people every week to get people into them. No. Oh, look, here you go. It's Cesaro wrestling somebody.
I think me and you were texting a little bit last week about, like, Raw had been on, and they did, was it the Street Profits versus Andrade and Garza, and then they did Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega, and then they did this, like, the 6-person intergender tag match, like, straight after each other. So
all pretty much half an hour.
It's like, pretty much filled like an hour's worth of television with the same 6 people, didn't they?
No, it was garbage. It's absolute garbage.
And again, though, is that part of, they could only have so many people in the building due to current restrictions. But even so, break the segments up.
Yeah.
Just do it one after the other.
Yeah, it would have been annoying. It would have been just as annoying for it to be 3 weeks in a row, but at least it wouldn't have been the first half an hour to 45 minutes is the go around of, all right, here you go, Street Profits against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Oh, look, she's interfered. So then now she's here. So then, all right, we'll have them fight now. And that's been interfered with now. So then let's have a triple, a 6-person tag. Oh, God. It was just, I got to the end of it and I was like, just no, this is crap. I don't want to see the same thing over and over again.
I think a couple of other surprises on that list for me was the OC, as in Gallows and Anderson just gone. Part of the storyline with AJ and Undertaker at WrestleMania, again one of the biggest selling points of the biggest show of the year, and a few weeks removed, like, on you go, boys. Is like what happens with that? They had an entrance, they had merch, they had everything hooked up on on the back, kind of on the back of AJ Styles' bandwagon, I guess. But a decent tag team, made money all around the world. I can't imagine that they were maybe the worst paid guys, but similarly, again, I don't think we'd be anywhere near the top. But to get rid of one of your better tag teams, just.
But is it a case of had they maybe asked for a release however many months ago, didn't get it, and then when it's come up to a case of they're looking to release people, well, why don't we let go of the people who asked to be let go first, and then we'll come
maybe.
on the call.
Well,
Maybe.
Just before, it seems to be a big old clear out of the tag teams, because just before, like, the main release day, if you like, that happened, the Revival were let go just before that, and again, combined within that list, you've also got Ryder and Hawkins. Ryder's to me another big name. Yes, I might have been photographed at a live event, possibly wearing a Broski headband at some point in my past. but yeah, that's another guy who you'd have down as an absolute lifer, and not there anymore. But like, I feel like he's one of them that will absolutely turn it to his benefit, because within hours of it being announced, he already had like a pro wrestling tees store set up, and his thing on like social media for the last few years, even though he might not have been in the forefront of all the stories, he's always hashtagged everything with "still here." So his first t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, I don't know if you guys have seen this, was not there, which I quite liked. Like, at least he's kind of taking it and running with it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. There seems to be a bit of a. Oh, actually, just coming back to that, about people who've asked for the releases and then not got it. I feel like we should give Mr. Moore at least a couple of minutes to talk about his favourite former diva from back in the day.
I mean, the writing was on the wall. I mean, you were just sat there waiting for the names to be there. And then you were just sat there waiting. And it's like, I don't know whether people are the same as me at the moment, but every so often, kind of when you're feeling particularly miserable, you kind of go on a self-hate kind of search through Twitter or Instagram or something like that, just to find something to push you over the edge of being pissed off. And there you go. A whiny piece of the camera going, oh, so we've been released. And you think, yeah, of course you have.
Just in case you don't realise, this is Maria Kanellis that Matt's going on about, and obviously there's her husband Mike.
And I just think it's not nice, and you know, I didn't rejoice in the fact that they've been released. It's the fact that after he asked for his release, I mean, the ink couldn't have been dry on that contract that he signed for 5 years, and then he's like asking for his release, and you think you can't complain in that situation because you've done a lot of things. You've done a lot of things to annoy your employer. Like I'm not some kind of crazy lefty saying, oh, you know, workers rise up, and I'm not saying that, you know, business is best, but you kind of got to think sometimes, what have you done there? You know, I'm not going to bring up all the kind of things that happened whilst they've been there, but they haven't worked much. No. And at some point, someone's going to turn around and go, you asked you for your release twice, because they both asked for their release before they signed a new 5-year contract. And then within seconds, he's asked for his release from the new 5-year contract that they signed. And it's just this, oh, we're non-essential wrestlers, non-essential workers. And you're like, yeah, actually, you know, you weren't a good wrestler anyway. Yes, you were quite a good manager, but they never utilised that. And he never got a chance. Again, I've not really seen Mike Kanellis wrestle that much, but from what you see from Ring of Honor, what you see from TNA, he's been champion. He's been the lead guy there, so there must be something there. But they've obviously, you know, sometimes you can't wind people up, you know.
It's the absolute dictionary definition of shitting on your doorstep, I think, with them two. Because they got signed, didn't they? And then for what, like you say, well, necessarily go into all the ins and outs, but for one reason and another, there was then a reason for them not to be there that was nothing to do with WWE. So, like, for them to be on the firing, on the firing point, it wasn't particularly a huge surprise, but obviously still a disappointment to them. But again, don't strike me as people that will be quiet about it. So I'm sure they'll
they've got the t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees already. You know, she's doing her milk money stuff, and you know, they're doing an Instagram live about parenthood tonight, folks. If you really want to be told how to raise your kids by Maria Kanellis, yeah, I'm right there.
What,
sorry, lads, I'm going to go.
What time is that? Sorry.
I will say as well.
That's where Paul's going in a minute.
You can't struggle too much for money and then still have a Peloton bike and subscription, because that's all I've seen on her Instagram.
Jesus Christ.
I'm doing my Peloton, and I've got my kid's bike set up next to me, so she feels like she can be part of it. That's just going to set me off. So let's not go that way.
I mean, the shitty thing is that they've got nowhere else to go. You know, there's no job for them to go to. I think that's the shitty thing. And if this hadn't happened, none of these people would have got released. They would have been still sat there taking their checks home. But instead, it's like, and I'm pretty sure they will have got some kind of payout. So they're not going to be on the breadline they're not going to be on the breadline now, because they're not going to have negotiated a 5-year contract and then be like, yeah, we're not going to pay you any more of that 5-year contract. That's crap. That's definitely, they will have got some money somewhere. You know, but it's pretty low kind of thing when they've got nowhere to go to. They can't go and wrestle on the Indies. They can't go and make a fortune there. They can't go. They're probably not going to go and sign with TNA straight away, or Ring of Honor, or AEW, or or New Japan. There's nowhere for them to go, and I think that's the thing that stinks for me, is that release them, fine, but it's done in such an underhand, shitty way that it's like, we'll release you because there's nowhere else for you to go, so go and make a living elsewhere. No, sorry, you can't. I just think that's underhand, and it just, if you obviously you had no plans for these people because you wouldn't have let them go otherwise, but you've let them go at a time when they can't go and find money.
I've seen some varying reports with regards to like the backstage producers, so people like Angle, Lance Storm, IRS, who Paul mentioned earlier on, Finley, Hurricane, Sean Navari, and Scott Armstrong. I didn't even realise was still there. The guy who used to be the referee, who was like the authorities' in-pocket referee for a little while. Some varying things about. Some of those have been released. Some of those have been furloughed. So when things pick up, they'll just be straight back to work. But I don't know which way around it is. But there's not as many off-screen talents that seem to be paying the price, but a few of them are still out of work for the time being as well. But you'd probably think that somebody like Angle or Lance Storm, or as soon as people are allowed within 2 meters of each other again, they'll be out training, or again, they're not going to be out of work for the foreseeable. I would have thought.
Well, the thing with Lance Storm, he shut down his school, didn't he? He shut down his training school to go and take the job with WWE. So you'd hope that he was one of the people that was furloughed, because obviously if they've said to him, close that down because we want you to come and work for us now, you'd hope that he was sort of covered with that, but who knows.
It's be a strange one as well, just linking it to Lance Storm, because just thinking on that Chelsea Green's still employed at NXT, and obviously Zack Ryder was let go, so that's be a strange dynamic in that household. But and also same for Rusev and Lana, because Rusev, another reasonably big name, talented guy, is gone. But yeah,
Sarah Logan as well, isn't it, with one of the Viking Raiders? But then apparently something weird about them circling back round with her and coming back, because a lot of people have been like, "Oh, you made a mistake letting her go." But yeah, it's a funny one, because I think some will be back. Some will be back within weeks.
I was going to say, what are the chances that they're just saving money by cutting all these contracts at this point in time? There might be a small payout just to sort of send them on their way, but what are the chances that half of these names are going to be back on the roster a couple of months after things get back to normal?
I don't know that they'll come back that quickly, and this is just me personally, because if that was me, part of me would be thinking, well, I'd be off. I'd be taking my pro wrestling tees money and my worldwide bookings once that all sort of opens up again. I think I'd be taking a bit of opportunity to kind of not prove themselves, because if they're asking for your back, I guess, then they already want you. But I think I'd be taking the opportunity to do things on their own terms a little more to begin with, right before they get sort of tied to the machine, as it were. I do think some people will be back. I absolutely think that Rusev will be back.
Rusev, on that list, Rusev's definitely going to be one of them.
I'd like to think Zack Ryder would be back at some point, because he knows how to get himself over, and that.
Yeah.
But again, that's probably me, more of a heart over head thing. But I hope that he does find his way back.
The good wrestlers will either find a lot of money elsewhere, or they'll be back pretty quickly. It's the ones that are just either in the development or kind of have been taken on, kind of thing. You kind of start. The thing that gets me is they haven't started doing anything with NXT UK yet officially, and one person who's working with NXT UK, and we'll come to him in a minute, has been released. But I suppose technically his contract was in America. But development, you start to worry about the people that if they start to do it over here with NXT UK, apparently, who am I to kind of judge? But their contracts are around like £20,000 to £30,000 a year. They're not on the mega kind of books that say the kind of big main roster people are taking. And a lot of people have given up like jobs and roles elsewhere to kind of run NXT and write for NXT and perform for NXT UK. But yeah, you like your top ones, like you said, if we throw the Revival in, because they were probably released. Yeah, they weren't going to sign a new contract, but also they were kind of on their way anyway. It's just a nice little bonus. But the Revival, the OC, Bullet Club, Rusev, Zack Ryder, probably even like Curtis Hawkins, Heath Slater, those kind of ones that have been in the main roster and had things that have got over in the past, they'll be able to find themselves either back at WWE or kind of at another company that they can then build themselves back up. Do a Drew McIntyre. You know, he obviously was released, what was it, 2016, was it? Or,
yeah, that'll be
about he went
right,
back,
I
think. But obviously he did TNA, he did Ring of Honor. I'm not sure they did anything in Japan, but he did a lot of the indies kind of in the UK. Went away, found himself. But
he was ICW champ for a while, went back over here and sort of helped to sort of rebuild that brand and build back up in Scotland, didn't he? So I think one of the things that we couldn't finish this list without mentioning was, do we think that Heath Slater will complete the prophecy?
They could do something really cool with it. I think they really could do something really cool. It'd be really cool if he did something to screw Drew McIntyre. I think I've kind of said on the text chain, if he screwed him out of the title, you know, to kind of take it away from him and then insert himself into the picture and take it himself, you know, somehow, some way, somehow, you know, climb that corporate ladder.
He's got to go away and say his prayers and take his vitamins for a good 2 years first to like get himself absolutely jacked.
Yeah.
Like the other two did. He's like whatever Jinder Mahal did has obviously worked because
grade 8 steroids, but
it's alleged, not proved. We should just probably point that.
Oh yeah.
But, one thing that I was going to finish on was that anybody from the list that you definitely want to see back, which was we've kind of, I think me and Andy have kind of touched on Rusev, definitely would be sort of probably my pick for sure. And then anybody from that list that you definitely wouldn't mind them making a living kind of on the UK scene, so maybe we could actually go and get to see them in person more often. And for me, it's probably an unsurprising pick in one sense, in the sense of he's a home country boy, but Drake Maverick has got a lot of charisma. Get him back down as his rockstar spud persona, and just let him run riot in like places like Progress and you know, and everywhere else, because like, that he's just an absolute. He's just, if anything, what he lacks in size, he absolutely makes up for in charisma for me.
Yeah, I'd agree on that one. It's a weird one though, because when he did the TNA British boot camp thing, he came across as an absolute dick.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was part of. I don't know if that was part of the idea, but he just came across as irritating rather than annoying. If that makes sense.
I think that's been his always though, hasn't it, really? I think he's always been like that kind of, you know, the annoying kid at school that was like best friends with the biggest guy and would come out and yap at you like a Jack Russell and then go and hide behind his like German Shepherd mate kind of thing. And that's the way that was his persona in TNA, and then it's really been his persona in
when he was in the AOP and
WWE. Yeah, you know, and that he did really good work as their manager. And then it just seemed to fizzle out again.
But then,
one of them got injured, didn't they? So they sort of like,
he seemed to get that gig off the back of a successful run as like 205 Live general manager as well.
Yeah.
I think that's where he was allowed to sort of shine a little bit more there. Like, and again with him, he's still got that weird kind of situation now where he's in the tournament for the Cruiserweight title. But he's been released, but he's still working at least 3 more matches depending on the results. So could it end up? I'm not sure, but I don't know if you saw that sort of really like emotional video that he put out. But he said in that he's got the 3 more matches and he's going to give it his all. And part of me was, up until the point where he mentioned that, was like, oh my god, this is really like upsetting and it's really bad. And then by the end of the video, I was like, has he really been fired though? Is it going to be some sort of massive swerve? That's the point where I've watched wrestling for too long. When I'm starting to think about it. Yeah, everything's a conspiracy. Just take the tinfoil hat off and just leave it alone.
Well, there's this a vignette that keeps doing the rounds, isn't there, about the hacker?
Oh yeah.
So
The truth will be heard.
gonna be somebody.
Shorty G.
Oh,
Shorty G or Ali,
No.
apparently, that's what they were saying.
I think. If we have a check on the paddy power odds, can I ever see if it's going to be Shorty G or Chad Gable? I'll let you both.
WrestleMania special, double on. But yeah, I think other than have you guys got anybody that you'd like to see from that list over in the UK?
I don't mind seeing EC3 live just to see what he's actually got.
Yeah.
Good shout.
That'd be that, and then probably like Gallows and Anderson, to get to like in a proper match, decent tag match, decent tag opponents. Be quite interesting to see. Kind of obviously cause you watch. I'm not a massive kind of New Japan kind of thing, but some of the matches you see and the role that they played, they never, obviously with the PG era, they couldn't do the full Bullet Club. Obviously, you can't do the full Bullet Club because then New Japan got their rights to it, but they didn't do the full kind of thing. You watch the kind of the New Japan stuff that they did with like Finn Balor as Prince Devitt, then obviously turning on him and fetching in AJ Styles for Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, and they're just great and they're dark and it's just and they're good wrestlers. Carl Anderson's an insanely good wrestler and it's just wasted by being made to look like idiots. I'd quite like to see the revival as well. I think I'd just like to see those two tag teams go somewhere where they can actually have a tag match and not have to be like dickheads. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, right, go and act like a buffoon because actually, and it's the thing, isn't it, with Vince, is that I don't give a shit about tag matches. It's just, it fills time. And, ultimately what we're looking to find a Shawn Michaels so then you can turn on the other one and send one of them to the sun and bury the other one somewhere else. So that'd be quite nice. Obviously I kind of hinted to it before. Cassius Ohno has been released. He's retired the Cassius Ohno thing, so he's definitely not going back to WWE, I would say, this time. And is bringing back the Chris Hero kind of thing.
You see that video that he put together where it was like melting out his Ono theme music into his old Chris Hero music? It was really good.
And it was insane that was it the Hurricane Rana off the ropes in the middle of the ring was just so athletic for a guy his size. It was just absolutely bonkers. It'd be good, hopefully, that if he can do some kind of top stuff on the indies and kind of get back that kind of the best wrestler in the world kind of thing, and I think that's that kind of thing that sometimes really, if you're not...
It was really, really bad timing on WWE's part as well, because if you remember when we saw him for Progress in Sheffield, and we'd said about I had a little chat with him about that Wrestling Genius shirt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just got released on WWEshop.com this week.
Oh, did it? Oh, I'm cheap.
So yeah, that was unfortunate from his. But the call of the day from you earlier on today, Matt, saying that if Progress pick him up as a super strong style entrant for now rearranged tournament in August, I'd be well happy with that. Well happy.
Chris Hero and Drake Maverick, or Rockstar Spud as it is, I'd be well chuffed if those two are in. That'd be great.
Right. Has anybody got any other business for the evening? Are we all released out and sort of special edition podcast done, or has anyone got anything else they want to pop on?
No, I think I'm good.
All good. Okay. Well, thanks very much for listening along. Just obviously we jumped on just because there's been some news. So any thoughts on anything we've discussed? Obviously, as ever, leave us some comments. Subscribe to CookieCast on YouTube and on the appropriate channels on your podcast bits and bobs on like iTunes and what have you. Andy, you're better at this bit than me. Come on, man, help me out.
I'll just tail it. I'll just do the tail end of this.
There it is.
What I will say.
That ladies and gentlemen, is why he's a professional.
What I will say is we have had a massive uptake with views on YouTube, like massive uptake of views. The subscribers not following the view trend, so what I'm sort of signing off with or starting with or both is, if you are watching, cool. If you could subscribe, fantastic. If you can then get a friend and all of their entire family to do the same, that'd be awesome. We're doing a subscriber push. As with a lot of things like this, once we hit certain markers for subscribers, we'll start doing prizes and competitions, and the aforementioned t-shirts will come along, but it's hard to organise those sorts of things in the current situation. But more subscribers would be super cool, and like I say, with that brings more stuff from the podcast to those subscribers.
Yeah, sounds good. Right, well, thanks very much. We'll be back as normal in a few weeks' time with the Money in the Bank predictions, and to discuss the possible new home of the Cookie Cast events. Getting over pay-per-view predictions championship. Leave with that.
The 10th moment. Bye, folks.
Bye.
We good?
So there you go. What do you think to that? Little bite-sized chunk for you to digest. A little special podcast. Big thanks to Stu, Paul and Matt for taking the time out to jump on a conference call and give you guys the content that you so rightly deserve. YouTube watchers, make sure you're subscribing, liking, sharing and comment, and get a family member to do the same. Then get somebody else to do the same. Everybody jump over to thecookiecast.com, send us some love, social media, email, or just hug the screen or something. So yeah, that's that for now, and until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then. Bye.